So, hello everyone. I'm Kim Pearson, the Executive Director at Carpenter Hospice. I'd like to welcome you here today as we celebrate the opening of the Angelo and Darlene Paletta Care Wing. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that Burlington, as we know it today, is rich in history and modern traditions of many First Nations and the Métis, from the Anishinaabe to the Haudenosaunee and the Métis. Our lands spanning from Lake Ontario to the Niagara Escarpment are steeped in Indigenous history. The territory is mutually covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, an agreement between the Iroquois Confederacy, the Ojibwe, and other allied nations to peacefully share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. We'd like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is part of the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit. Just a couple of reminders before we begin. The hospice has a number of residents in-house, so we ask that you are mindful of the individuals and families who are with us today. We also ask that anytime you're inside our building, that you wear a mask. So with that, I'm pleased that so many people are here today to celebrate the tireless efforts of this community, our donors, volunteers, and staff, who back in 2017 set a plan in motion to reimagine the hospice to meet the growing needs of the Burlington community. Today, we officially open the Angelo and Darlene Paletta Care Wing, a 10,000 square foot building featuring 11 state-of-the-art bedroom suites offering large spaces, greater privacy, and comfort for families. Angelo and Darlene, every time in my role I get to witness your contributions in action. Families enjoying the beautiful, serene space, and staff and volunteers providing exceptional and compassionate hospice care. I would now like to warmly welcome Dave Dyson, Chair of our Capital Campaign Committee and past Chair of Carpenter Hospice, to say a few words.
Great. No. Thank you, Kim. First of all, not on the, if an omen of the future is today's weather, what a fabulous omen of today's future, because we've been through enough here. So thank goodness. What a beautiful day. But thanks very much, Kim. First of all, I can't thank you enough for both Karen and I that we've been invited to participate in today's celebration. As many of you are aware, and Kim alluded to, it's been a very long and arduous 4 years since the shovel first went in the ground in 2017. While this celebration today was originally scheduled for 2019, we were delayed first by the catastrophic flood, where we had to relocate our resident wing to Joseph Brant Hospital and our administrative offices to one of Angelo's properties, actually. So thank you again, Angelo. Whoops. Please be the right page. Yeah, and then just as we were coming back, we were hit with the COVID-19 pandemic. True to form, however, our amazing staff, volunteers, and numerous community supporters rallied like they always do. And I'm pleased to announce that, honestly, just as of this past week, we have finally got our permits to open the entire hospice, and as such, we are officially 100% back in business. As many of you know, this project truly has tested our resolve in every way possible, but you have continually stood by us. The commitment of Angelo and Darlene and so many others who gave us the support we needed to keep us moving forward. For this, we are so very thankful. Angelo and Darlene spearheaded our Making Room project. They were instrumental in reaching out to the broader community and bringing so many people on board to help us in our efforts to build a new hospice wing. We would like to acknowledge some of these critical partners at this time. Brandhaven, with Steve and Elizabeth Stipsitz. Oh, wait, the Hogarth family, Ron and Lenore Porter, Slate Management, our 4 Rotary Clubs of Burlington, Blair and Kathy McKeel, and there are a couple other significant groups I'd like to mention along with these very generous and committed supporters. One is our community at large. The hospice would not be here where it is today without the continued support of our ongoing community commitment. The other, I want to acknowledge the congregation and trustees of St. Stephen Church, which was also one of the founding partners of the hospice, and even as they worked through struggles of their own, they worked closely with us and found a way to ensure that the Carpenter Hospice was able to continue to serve our community today and for years to come. Last, a heartfelt thank you to all of you, the Carpenter family, and all of you for trusting us with your gifts, and we commit that your legacy will not be forgotten. On a personal note, I want to thank Board Chair Don Osborne and the board, as well as Executive Director Kim Pearson, for unselfishly allowing Karen and I to participate in this wonderful celebration today. It means the world to us. As a past chair, I had the pleasure of working very closely with our former Executive Director, Karen Candy. We spent more days than I can remember together, and quite frankly, more time than we wanted to, given the circumstances. But I will forever be in awe of the commitment she showed to our hospice during such difficult times. And with that, I'm happy to introduce Karen to say a few words today. Karen?
Sorry, I'm going to have to put my glasses on. This is wonderful, I have to tell you. First of all, I too would like to thank Dave and especially Kim for inviting me here today to share in this amazing celebration. I am both thrilled and very thankful. It is so nice to see so many familiar faces. And it's wonderful to finally be cutting the ribbon. It has been a long and winding road. When we began this journey, we knew that we would need support from the Burlington community. We knew we would need support from individuals who believed in the value of palliative care. We knew we would need someone who shared our vision for the future of the palliative care wing. We knew we would need someone who could help us make that vision a reality. That someone was Angelo Paletta. Angelo, with Darlene's support, has been a valued partner to Carpenter Hospice since 2008. And I do want to just stop, and Darlene, thank you on behalf of the hospice. We keep finding ways of pulling Angelo back to Carpenter Hospice, and I know it is your support that allows us to do that, so thank you. Angelo has always been willing to share his time, talent, and treasures to get the job done for Carpenter Hospice. I'd like to share just a little of Angelo's history with the hospice. Since 2008, Angelo has shared his valuable time by serving in so many roles. He has been a board director, vice chair of the board of directors, chair of the board of directors, past chair of the board of directors, and let's not forget Angelo and Darlene serving as gala committee chairs for a number of years. That has meant a lot of meetings, a lot of evenings, and a lot of weekends working on behalf of the hospice. Angelo has shared his talents, his financial knowledge, his business expertise. Angelo restructured the hospice's operational budget to reduce expenses and increase revenue. He was also instrumental in establishing an operational reserve fund to ensure Carpenter Hospice has the necessary resources to serve Burlington residents should no government funding be available. And one could argue, Angelo set the tone for our financial strategy. We may be not for profit, but we're also not for loss. Angelo has also shared his treasures, his four-wheeled treasures. Whether hosting tours of his garage or bringing his cars to the hike, he knew every little bit helped and made a difference. In 2012, Angelo and Darlene donated $50,000 to fund the purchase of the power generator, ensuring the lights would always be on for those needing support. Honestly, this is only a snapshot. As you can see, the contributions have been many. Angelo and Darlene have always understood the importance of palliative care and what Carpenter Hospice means to the Burlington community, what it means to individuals and their families at such a vulnerable time. This journey, this long and winding road, has led us to today. Today, we are here to celebrate, one could argue, is Angelo and Darlene's biggest contribution to date, the opening of the Angelo and Darlene Paletta Care Wing at Carpenter Hospice. Angelo and Darlene's gift has ensured staff and volunteers will be able to care for individuals needing palliative support for many years to come in a peaceful, home-like setting. I was honored when Angelo asked me to introduce him and Darlene today. In deciding what to say, I thought about what Angelo has meant to Carpenter Hospice these past 13 years. Partner, advocate, leader, change maker, champion, advisor, innovator, friend, and philanthropist all came to mind. If you look up philanthropy in the dictionary, it says, philanthropy consists of private initiatives for the public good focusing on quality of life. If you look up philanthropist, it is defined as a person who seeks to promote the welfare of others, especially by generous donations to good causes. Public good, focusing on quality of life, and promoting the welfare of others is exactly what happens every day here in the Angelo and Darlene Paletta Care Wing at Carpenter Hospice. Angelo and Darlene's incredible generosity ensures there will always be a home for those needing end-of-life care. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome Angelo and Darlene to the stage.
Well, that's a pretty hard act to follow. But before we get into the formal part, I'd like to call up Pamela and Kim, please. Well, not formally part of the actual wing, there is a brand new kitchen. And since I plan on spending way more time here, I have decided to bring a machine that can go in the kitchen. Pamela, you need to come up here. You can open it right now.
The espresso make? Open it up. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. I want one after this. So you got to make sure you get it warmed up. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this brand new addition to the Carpenter Hospice. While I started my tenure at the hospice in 2008, this plan to improve palliative care, the rooms for the residents, and the facilities for the families started in 2012. That year, I became chair of the board of the hospice. Along with Vice Chair Francis McCann, we toured the hospices in St. Catharines and Niagara Falls. It was the visit in St. Catharines that intrigued us. There, residents could actually be wheeled out of their rooms, in their beds, go through the back parking lot, and get a Tim Hortons coffee. through the drive-thru, of course. Francis and I thought that was magnificent and brought real joy and normalcy to those people there at that time. Of course, that was not possible here, as the doors were not wide enough to roll any of the beds out anywhere within the hospice. That was the start of it all. Almost 10 years later, through years of planning and a pandemic, we've arrived at this great day. As we all know, living through COVID has been more than a struggle and stressful. Our current chair, Don Osborne, and past chair, Dave Dyson, have been front and center during this time. Both have been integral as committee members of the capital campaign and the expansion and facilities projects. Don and Dave, thank you for your hard work, perseverance, and commitment during these very challenging times. Kim Pearson, a formal and public welcome to the hospice. As the new executive director, you arrive at a memorable and monumental time. You will be leading our staff and volunteers with the use of the new care wing and the expansion of the community outreach and wellness programs. I look forward to all the positives that you and the hospice team will bring to this community. The hospice is an amazing place, but it is that way because of great staff and volunteers. It is through their dedication, personal care, desire, and love for others that make this hospice special. I personally do not have that demeanor nor the fortitude to do what they do. It takes a very special person to do their duties. Having spoken to many volunteers over my time here, I know they truly enjoy what they do. It's been a roller coaster ride for the past few years at the hospice. Thank you to Marlene, Lori, Pamela, and Stephanie, and all the staff and volunteers, past and present, for making the Carpenter Hospice a home. Being a leader means you also need to seek out and encourage others to lead and to join. It takes a number of leaders to make a project like this happen. Being part of that group can take the form of giving your time, expertise, products, labor, and of course, financial contributions. I hope that you and others will be leaders and spread the word and join the hospice family. A very special thanks to my good friends, Blair and Kathy McKeel, who can't join us today, for also stepping up with a matching donation to the hospice for the outreach and wellness facilities and programs. Their continuous generosity is second to none. Their donation will greatly assist in the growth of the hospice's care with the outreach and wellness programs within the community for years to come. There are many others, too many to actually list today, who have given to build the new care wing, changes to the facilities, and the grounds. All of you are important to me and appreciated by me and the hospice. Please, when you get a moment, look at the back of your handout to see the list of many donors that form part of this. Thank you to each and every one for your contributions. I'd also like to acknowledge two past chairs here today, John Duff and Francis McCann, at the very back. They were instrumental in the ongoing care and success of the hospice and this edition. Karen Candy, KC as I called her, was my choice for executive director. In a way, I feel like I hired her. As the incoming chair, we had a great working relationship. Every time we spoke or met, I would ask her how she, KC, and her staff and volunteers, the Sunshine Band, were getting along. Karen has given more than her heart and soul to the hospice. She has spent countless hours here as executive director, construction manager, site supervisor, living through construction, then the flood, moving out during the flood, moving back in, and finally bringing the hospice up to full operating speed. Karen, you are an amazing person, and thank you is simply an understatement. The hospice has been a big part of my life since 2008. I was only interested in joining the board if I can make a difference in some way, large or small. I had no intention of being anything than a board member. Well, that didn't last long. It was a personal growth, learning and humbling experience for me. To sit on what was then an operational board, and one where I was not the commander-in-chief, judge, jury, and executioner for all things, was all new to me. It was a major turning point in my life. My involvement with the hospice by default also became part of Darlene's. A deep, sincere thanks to my wife, Darlene, whose patience, understanding, and she supported me through the many hours of time spent at the hospice, my personal fundraising efforts, and the attendance at the hike and gala events over the years. With all my heart, thank you so much. Darlene and I wish to acknowledge our other family members joining us, my mother Anita, our sons Victor and Michael, my brother Ramy with his wife Connie, and daughter Melissa. Our children are the next generation of leaders that we need to teach and inspire. The new Care Wing. Karen Candy approached me to be the lead donor for the new wing. I was honored and humbled to be asked to be part of this, and especially by Karen. When Karen mentioned the amount she was hoping for, my response was, "You know how many cars I can buy with that?" Darlene and I spoke about this in detail because it was a great cause, but also was our largest personal donation ever. I felt, and still to this day feel, so attached to the hospice. I made great friends, had personal growth, and most importantly, being able to help families during this stressful time of their lives. Taking care of a loved one during that end of life time, whether it be weeks or even a year, is the most difficult task one can go through. Having seen it with my own father, it's a tumultuous load to bear and stress on the entire family. Having the hospice, where that person in palliative need can be brought to be taken care of like no other place on earth, is the answer. It's the saving grace. Taking that stress and removing that burden is heavenly. Allowing the family to unload the caregiver duties and becoming family again is truly what the hospice is all about. Darlene and I are humbly honored, proud, and overjoyed to be part of this and have the Angelo and Darlene Paletta Care Wing here, ready, and open for the entire community. We have created a new hospice in Burlington that, in my opinion, is the best one in the world. As we look forward and progress further, Carpenter Hospice is now well positioned in their new space to provide expanded supports and services to the entire community. You have helped us get this far. Now is the time to reconnect, stay connected, get connected, to be part of this amazing family. Please share the Carpenter Hospice story. Ensure hospice palliative care is available to all when needed. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Angelo, Darlene, thank you for your leadership and partnership. Your support was a catalyst for change once again here at Carpenter Hospice. For that, we are most appreciative. As has been said, the Angelo and Darlene Paletta Care Wing is a state-of-the-art facility, yet it feels like a home. Within it, our staff will provide exemplary care and support for families and loved ones. As a director and now as a chair, I witnessed the hours that Karen and Kim and the Carpenter team spent in bringing this facility to completion. As has been said before, it was a real challenge, but well worth the effort. This care wing is a magnificent facility. It allows us to provide exceptional care for families, and it will serve our community well into the future. So on behalf of the Board of Directors, the staff, the volunteers, and the community, we are truly grateful for your support. Thank you. Would also like to share that our MPP, Jane McKenna, has sent a special video message that we will share on our social media platforms, so you can see that when it's convenient. So now I'd like to ask Angelo and Darlene to come up and officially open the Angelo and Darlene Paletta Care Wing.
Can have the rest of you up here. You're all part of it. All right. Everyone, hold on. Grab a piece. And we have two wonderful volunteers assisting us today, Sandra and Pat. Thank you very much. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Welcome. Thank you.
So I want to welcome everyone through the doors at the back, or front entrance now. We can actually say our front entrance. It just opened. We have a small reception at the back and an opportunity if you'd like to tour the grounds and see the hospice in its full beauty. So please come and join us just through those doors behind you. Thank you again for coming.